the nitty-gritty. Conversations get real live, it's time for the nitty-gritty. The revolution's not televised, it's time for the nitty-gritty. Reaching out to your conscious mind, it's time for the nitty-gritty. More than talking, we taking action, it's time for the nitty-gritty.
Yo, Facebook, we up. IG, we up. YouTube, we up. So, we got a good show for you guys today. If you're wondering who I'm listening to, yeah, right? If you're wondering who I'm listening to, this is The Internet off their album Ego Death. I feel like this is like one of the best albums they have put out. I mean, Hive Mind is dope too, but, and the song is Something's Missing. There's a little reprise towards the end that was pretty dope. So, yeah, we get that junk going. Michael, what's going on? ATL, Cleveland. Yo. That's my junk right there. Oh.
Hey. You know, we always start with the vibe, y'all. Hey. Hey. Okay.
You gotta hit that guitar. Alright, anyway, look, that's enough. We having a good time over here. Look, it's your boy, Jay DaCosta.
And it is your girl, Cat.
And together we are The Nitty Gritty. Look, got an exciting show for you guys today. Got a lot of ground to cover. A lot of stuff in news. So, definitely got to go over all that. We got everything from chicken sandwiches to trying to get a man off of death row. Seriously, it's wild out here. And topics of the discussion when we get down to the nitty gritty. Brian, the McKinneys.
Hey.
We're going to be talking about parenting and discipline. Yep. Been a lot of celebrities voicing their opinion about how to raise their kids, actions they're taking to rear their children,
and how to discipline.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. There's been some stuff that went viral, you know. And then also a little fun. We're going to talk about women asking for $40. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's going to be fun. And then we got some pretty dope shout outs. And as promised yesterday, we have a special announcement. So we will get that off today, all right? Yeah, all that work. So anyways, let's go into current news. Current news. Brian said, nitty gritty. I appreciate it, brother. So current news. First thing. Chicken sandwiches though? I mean, we seen this last time and then they doing it again.
Wait, people are dying over Popeye's chicken sandwiches.
It's not worth it. Like, it ain't that good. And the sodium's super high.
Wait, let me preface it. People are not dying over Popeye's chicken sandwiches. The reason why they came to that place at that time was because of Popeye's chicken sandwiches. People are dying because they have the personalities and things wrong with themselves that cause them to get into fights. Because I believe that if that same man was at any other restaurant or any other establishment, that man would have started issues and drama and probably would have likely died. Yeah, so like there's been a few situations, because I don't want to give the chicken sandwich too much time. I could care less what it tastes like. I just know people shouldn't be, and Chris said thank you, it's not about the chicken. You're absolutely right. Because we got to think about where these places are strategically placed in the hood. And they're placed in environments, because not just the hood, they're also near the trailer parks and all that too. Because we just seen white folks wilding, right? That's true. We just seen a brother out there in White Oak get knocked the heck out. That's true. Because he wanted to use some choice words, and once again, he had the kind of energy, the same kind of ignorance, that it didn't matter if he was at a Popeyes full of black people, he could have been at a Trump rally, he could have been anywhere, he would have spit the same ignorance. And I want to just parallel, it's not a black issue, it's a poor and maybe middle class issue when you have people out there that would stab and kill each other, shoot, fight. I seen a video where two white guys got into a fight at their truck over chicken sandwiches. And people need some serious help. I think folks need some therapy or something, but like Katrina said, they're going to give that energy anyways. But, I mean, Maryland had a lot of these incidents. And that's so the white guy that got beat up, that was White Oak. That's Maryland. That's down the street.
Yeah, exactly.
White Oak is down the street.
Literally. He had the Oxon Hill joint. And then when the various people in the employees, they got to fighting each other. That was like right up the road too. That was in Baltimore City. And then there's been countless other situations. I'm just saying Maryland has been.
Well, first of all, I just want to take a post check from our followers on Instagram and on Facebook. How many of you have actually tried the chicken sandwich?
I mean, are y'all really still
I just
hyped
want to
about
know if y'all like the chicken sandwiches as much. I tried it, and quite honestly, I don't feel like it was better than Chick-fil-A. And I'm not arguing with y'all. I just prefer Chick-fil-A over it.
Yeah. And at this point, is it really worth risking your life over a chicken sandwich?
And it's not even worth standing in line for 30 minutes, though. It's like processed chicken. It's high in sodium and salt. So
yeah, just for
it's just not worth it.
For high blood pressure and diabetes, I'll pass. So that's that's some current news there. Moving on to other things, Veterans Day is coming up.
Whoop, whoop.
So shout out to the veterans. If you guys know a veteran, reach out. I can tell you right now, if you live near Cheddar's, they always have good. If you're a veteran, you want some free food, tomorrow's the day. Denny's, IHOP got breakfast. You have places like Krispy Kreme's giving free donuts and coffee.
Oh, wow.
BJ's, I think, gives up to $14.95 on a meal.
Yo, BJ's got the dope menu.
Yeah, and they got a dope menu. TGI Fridays and Applebee's, they all have fixed menus, but they have pretty good options for veterans. So if you're a veteran, make sure you get out there. Yo,
Also,
Kenny, what's good, bruh? I appreciate that message on Facebook. We're going to get to that towards the end of the show. But, hey, appreciate that, fam. In all seriousness, really, that's dope.
Yo, also I want to say,
Michael says she hasn't tried it yet, though.
Oh, she hasn't tried it yet. It's alright, sis. It ain't even. It's just not the hype. Like, we've had better food. Like, I don't know what the hype and craze is. So for veterans, if you live in the DC area, maybe you didn't know, maybe you did know, but you can go to any museum as long as you show your veteran card.
Yeah, so like there's like a wait. For instance, like the African American Museum has a wait right now. But if you're a first responder or a veteran,
you show that ID.
You just show your ID, you walk right through.
Get right in.
You can only bring so many people with you. Like you can't be like talking about like I got a whole busload, I got my church, I got my whole choir.
Yeah.
But if it's you, a significant other, some kids, or maybe like one other couple, they'll slide you through with about 4. All right, so just keep that in mind. Also in news as far as like the presidency, Michael Bloomberg, former mayor of New York. He's thinking of running for president, putting a bid in. I don't know how I feel about that.
I just don't care.
I think it disrupts. It's too late in the game for him to be disrupting the Democratic vote.
It's beyond too late. Like where you been, player? Where have you been? We done had a whole Democratic debate.
Yeah, so I don't know how I feel about.
Sir.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about him trying to throw his name in the last minute. I would say this: I would not be opposed to another Republican throwing his name in the hat.
Oh, I think everybody.
I'll be down for that. You can take Jeb Bush.
You can come at any time you want. You Republican?
Yeah.
Come on
in. You know what I'm saying?
At any given time, we are waiting for you.
Unless you're somebody like Ted Cruz or Mitch McConnell, then y'all need to just stay in your position. We don't need none of that. But some of y'all, hey, John Kasich out of Ohio, I'll be more than welcome. Governor Hogan right here in Maryland, you want to run for president on the Republican ticket? I'll be down.
Shameless plug, y'all. Speaking of Ohio State whipped. When I say whipped Maryland, I mean it was like
horrible.
A beat down.
Almost 100 points, 73.
It was a beat
12 or something crazy.
You don't understand how Maryland lost so bad yesterday, and me being from the OH and the I and the O, I was sitting there like, well, come on, Ohio State, show them that we are the best college football.
I'm just saying, like Ohio State.
And for any of y'all who don't like Ohio State, save your comments, save them. Kat doesn't care about your comments. Yes, I'm an OSU fan. Get on board.
Let me just say this about OSU. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself for running up the score like that. That was just brutality.
Can't help when you're the best. I mean, sorry, we need a better competition.
Y'all don't beat up on Maryland like that, okay? Y'all can beat up on any other team you want to. You don't beat up on the Terps like that.
Bruh, how much more do you need?
They play trash teams all year.
Y'all,
that's why the SEC stay whooping that
Ohio State all the time.
Look, we ain't gonna keep on talking football, but look, SEC's where it's at. Hold up, we got you got Kenny said he's trash. I'm pretty sure he's talking about Trump or maybe Mitch McConnell, one of them, because they're all trash. He said Maryland doesn't even belong in the Big Ten. OSU is boring in Big 19.
Boring.
Okay, I hear what he's saying. Mikhail said save the comments and Browns won today.
Ooh! Hey!
Just because every pastor in Cleveland paid his tithes.
Go Cleveland! Go Cleveland!
She said show up Ohio.
Hey, I know.
See, Kenny, you might kind of
watch Michael right here. Michael already know what it is. Michael, if I say OH, what you say?
I don't know if she's gonna type it that fast, but I know she's gonna say, oh.
That ain't for you to say, that's for her to say. You're not from Ohio.
He said Bloomberg was trash. Yeah, I feel you on that. And then also a very smart brother, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Scholarly man. He just wanted to let y'all know it's all about the SEC, and I agree with him. So, you know,
we are not about to argue this football thing. Because I respect, I think it was 2016 when Ohio State did beat Alabama. As I recall.
Michaela did say I.O. So
okay,
there
boom,
you go.
boom.
All right. Also, on a serious note, more current news. In Detroit, they found a new strain of AIDS. So, you know, I know people out there been getting engaged. You know, relationship is cuffing season. This is a good time to maybe just stick with one person. I'm just saying, like,
stick it out.
They said this new strain of AIDS is like that 1980s throwback AIDS. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want those problems. So if you're single and you're being promiscuous, wrap it up. You know, or abstain if you can. If you're in a relationship, you should still know your status. And sometimes it might be smart still to wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? If you got a feeling that the person ain't acting right, I don't know. But yeah, let's be safe out there. Know your status, get checked. Those are all really important things. For the geek in me and the fanboy, I'm excited about this next announcement. For you those that have been following, Disney Plus drops November 12th.
Okay.
So they have the Mandalorian series there from Star Wars, all the new like Ant-Man and all of those great shows are going to be on Disney Plus. For all you old Disney fans of all the
so excited.
Yeah, super excited. Like
when Star Wars comes out, the new movie comes out on December 2nd.
Yeah, all the movies from the Star Wars, all the Marvel movies, they're going to be on Disney Plus.
And a Star Trek fan. Funny that Michael's watching because Michael was like one of the only black people that defended me in elementary school, and I was like, I watch Star Wars. She was like, me too. People were like, black folks don't watch Star Wars. I'm Katrina. I was like, well, I watch it.
Kenny said he already got his subscription. I think I'm good because if you're a Verizon customer of Fios, you're supposed to get it automatically. So I have to figure out that whole sign-on when it comes. I know Hulu offered a deal, like if you paid for it in advance, you got like the first 3 years under like $150. That was crazy. So that's dope. Kenny said I'm like a little girl screaming on the inside. Funny. Michael said laugh out loud. True story. IG lit today. I'm loving it. You know what I'm saying? We don't get this much participation on IG.
Let's get to the nitty gritty.
Oh, hold on, no. We got a couple other serious things. Like, and plus, it's only like 8:13.
I just want the people, they ready to type and engage and give us their opinion on stuff.
They already are. But look, okay, other quick announcements. Google's coming out with a gaming system. So parents get ready to spend some money. It's the Stadia system. And then these two are really important. I got to put them out there.
Okay. November
12th, Supreme Court, there's going to be in front of the Supreme Court of the U.S., there's going to be a rally to protect DACA. All right?
Yes.
That's really important. So if you're in the area, if you can tweet, if you can just inform people, this is going to be really important because the Supreme Court is going to be voting on whether or not we're going to be able to protect DACA. So that's important. Also, November 20th. I saved this one for last because I think this is one that needs to resonate with all of our viewers. It's going to be the last day that Governor Abbott down there in Texas can grant clemency for Rodney Reed. Please go visit freerodneyreed.com. If you don't know the story, .org. freerodneyreed.org. If you don't understand the story, Rodney Reed was accused of rape, and assault.
Right.
I think murder was involved too, but I know definitely rape and assault.
He was accused of everything and was completely innocent.
And he was given the chair. He was actually given the death penalty. There has been circumstantial DNA evidence, and also another witness that has come out to say who's did it. Someone else has already confessed to it, and at bare minimum, they should take him off death row. So please, if you're not familiar, go to freerodneyreed.org. Sign the petition. Over 2 million people have signed it. Me and Kat here at the Nitty Gritty Show, we've already signed it.
Yeah.
We should not let a innocent man die. Please show your support. You have an opportunity to change a life. So if you can, please do that. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. All right. So let's talk about parenting and discipline. If you've been living under a rock, maybe not aware, there's been a lot of things going on in this sector. So one, we had I think I want to start with, there was a mother. A video went viral.
Yeah, a black woman.
A black woman. She called up to the school because the son had reportedly disrespected a teacher and hit a teacher. All right.
I didn't know that detail.
Yes.
Okay. Also
was getting like D's and F's, so he wasn't doing well in school and
Okay.
was constantly disruptive.
Okay.
All right. The mother proceeded to beat his behind. All right. Like any other black mother would do. Now,
in front of people.
Now, but another thing is, she recorded it and she did it in front of people at the school. So I want to start getting you guys' opinion. Now, as a father, I would say I'm all for that smoke about beating that child's behind.
In front of people?
Let me finish. I'm all for a spanking. I'm not one of those people that think we should get rid of them. I wouldn't have done it in front of at the school in front of everybody. I darn near wouldn't have. I wouldn't have recorded it. Because the whole point of discipline is to deter your child from destructive or bad behavior, right? It's not to create fear in the sense of that they're scared of you. Maybe some respect. There's respectful fear, but the whole point of parenting is to basically train your kids to be adults, get them ready for adulthood. They're not doll babies. They're not something that we just play with and dress up and play make-believe or whatever. Like, these are future adults. And how we raise them is going to affect how they buy chicken sandwiches, how they vote, how they become productive members of society.
I definitely think that discipline is key. And I think that discipline starts at home. And I think that discipline is rooted in communication. I think that oftentimes, because of the hustle and bustle of life, sometimes parents get frustrated and they don't have the time to explain certain things. Because kids are a lot smarter than you think. And I know, for example, like I didn't act crazy at school because my parents told me at home, like, listen, when you are out in public, you will act X, Y, and the third. And if you don't, there will be consequences. And then they explained to me what those consequences were. And then I experienced my siblings getting those consequences, or I experienced getting those consequences at home. So I kind of knew from those corrective moments that I'm not going to act crazy at school. Like, if my mom had ever got a phone call about me at school, I was legitimately scared. Like, when I go home, I'm getting a whooping with a leather belt. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. I'm going to be in trouble. And I wanted to honor my parents by respecting their wishes and doing my best that I could at school. So I did whatever I could to not be a disruption in school. So let us know your thoughts in the comments if you feel like corporal punishment is okay, necessary, if you would do it. I do believe in discipline, but I believe in conversation as well. I don't believe in wearing the black side out for like 20 minutes. It don't take all that. Like, it can take a simple pop. That's corrective. It can take maybe, you have a timeout. But I don't believe in that whole I'm going to beat you until you black and blue and then cussing, because that's more to me like abusive.
Yeah, and so we have comments from IG. So Michaela said, Michael. I'm sorry, I said Michaela. My bad. Michael said, my mom would discipline us in private. My mom used a paddle. Okay, and that seemed like it was controlled. Then you have Kenny said, spare the rod and spoil the child. Preach, brother. But he said also keep it in the house. And I think I agree. I feel like discipline should be done in private, obviously. But at the same time, I think we should respect people's right to choose how they want to rear their children, right? For instance, if you don't want to expose your kids to certain sexual choices or behaviors, whatever you want to label it, you should have the right to say, you know what, I want to raise my child to be a virgin of marriage. If that's what you believe in, you should have the right to train your kids in that way. If you want to say, I want to train my child to excel in education, and as a result, I force them to read an hour a day. I think sometimes we're so quick to put our mouths on how somebody wants to govern their house. We should allow people to do that. I think when you open yourself up to criticism is you put it out in public, and then what happens is, hey, true Scorpio, what's up, Shauna? I think what happens is now you leave yourself open to be criticized by the masses, and I think we should be more strategic about how we're raising our kids. I never understood like the videos posting kids like being beat or posting a punishment.
I mean, but
that's almost like cyberbullying your own kids.
Well, and it's just not strategic. In this day and age with how sensitive the daggone country is, why would I ever post myself for somebody to criticize my parenting? And then now this lady, the kids getting ready to be out of her house because somebody called CMS on her, child services. Child services.
I mean, that's crazy. Nate, what's up? Yo, what's up, bro? Also,
she just wasn't strategic at all. It was silly. He
said, "Don't be a hypocritical parent," and I agree with you.
But the thing is, parents posting it are only doing it for likes or to get recognition.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
You need to focus on your action as to why you're doing it. Your discipline is not because you want other people to say you the best mom or dad of the world. Discipline is to correct a behavior so that your child can understand that behavior is not good. It's not okay.
Yeah,
that's what discipline is for.
We have another comment from IG Kenny. I love the engagement. I love it, especially when the brothers get involved.
I agree.
Also, be accountable he said, also be accountable for your own behavior as a parent. Children copy us as parents. And you know what? I'm happy you said that. So when my daughter was born, Amira, right? Shout out to my baby, Amira. She'll be 14 in January. So when Amira was born, I read a bunch of books on parenting and all that because, I wanted to try to do right by my child. And I remember I read a lot of stuff by James Dobson, right? And James Dobson, he had a book about discipline and love and how it has to be a balance, right? I think a lot of times we want to love on our children, and there's nothing wrong with buying the things we didn't have. There's nothing wrong with, hugging them, kissing them, telling them you love them. You got to have that, but then you have to have a balance of discipline, like structure, rules, understanding of consequences. And the thing is, like, if you have too much of one, it has a result. And what we've seen that kids who are over-disciplined end up having a relationship where they have to sneak things around their parents.
Yes.
They don't have that relationship where they can communicate with them. Also, these kids can become violent at school because of things that have upset them. You get what I'm saying? Right? So I think that's important. Also, when we look at kids who get too much love, that's how you get the spoiled kids, the kids that want to smack a parent in the face, the kids that fall out on the floor, and the ones that are not controllable. So there has to be a balance of love and discipline. And I like quoting James Dobson because he's been an authority on parenting and relationships with kids for a long time. I'm no expert, but I believe he has a lot of great insight, and that's someone I think worth looking into.
Question for IG, Facebook, and for you. Do you guys think that there should be one parent that disciplines and one parent that shows more love, or do you think that mom and dad should equally discipline, equally show love?
That's a great question. So as we're waiting for your responses, we had Kenny said he agrees. Then also Christopher said corporal punishment is appropriate up to about 2 to 4. After that, you should find other methods of disciplining.
It's like, I'm just curious to know why you would say that. Why age? I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back to that. Shout out Richard. Shout out Jasmine. All the family on.
Facts.
We had Lena said congrats. I think I know what she's talking about. Christopher McKinney. Hold on. I went up too far. She said congrats. Nate said facts.
Hey Jasmine.
Chris said I think the way we talk about disciplining children in the black community is laughing about it. Versus actually, I think he said the misuse of corporal punishment.
Yeah.
Because we do that. We have a way of kind of laughing about how bad we got beat. We laugh about how, they use water hoses, extension cords, switches.
Yeah, my mom beat me down and yada yada. Like, I mean, even as an adult, I can say that I think my parents disciplined us, and I also can be honest and think I think that there were times where a conversation would have been better and appropriate as opposed to always, a slap on the back or, yelling or whatever. And I get it. My parents came from the old school, so it was like when I tell you to do something, you do it. I had the parents that they said washing dishes, you better not even talk back or you not even walk slow.
Same here.
You better
scurry
to the daggone kitchen sink, otherwise it's gonna be a little bump. Like, what's up? Why you ain't moving quick enough? So I get it.
Yeah, exactly. And then also we have more comments. Lana McKinney said no, both parents should be equally responsible for discipline.
Interesting.
Christopher McKinney agrees. Lana also said it creates a bias between parents.
Wow.
And that's true because you think about, I know,
I like that.
And I don't think that they meant any wrong in it, but I know even with my parents, it's like sometimes there would be stuff that we would push with my mom, even though my mother didn't play. Denise wasn't about, she was with the smoke. But there was stuff that we would pull with my mom that we wouldn't pull with our dad. And then when we were asking to go places, we know to go as dad. Kids are trying to play parents,
But can I say something though? Because I used to ask my mom to go somewhere, and Michael knows. She would say yes. And then I'm getting dressed, getting ready. My mother would be like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "Out." I asked mom, well, I said no. And then my mother was like, well, when your father says no, he means no. Somebody tell me, what's that about? If a parent say yes, that's a yes. How you gonna switch it up? Because dad said no. What kind of mess is that?
Hey, but that's parents trying to show some unity though. I can respect that. Going to some comments. We got a lot of comments, so I'm gonna make sure I get them off. Nate said, because you want both, oh man, we got a lot of comments. Because you want both parents disciplining, because you don't want the child to feel like mommy always beat me or daddy always. So that's important. Richard said, them whooping molded me into a great man. I feel you, bro. It got us all together.
Then he said, wait, no. Then he said, bruh.
Oh yeah, then Nate said, bruh. And if you guys don't know, Nate and Richard are my brothers. So we all got that same treatment, that same smoke growing up. But I have to agree with them. That discipline did create boundaries that if those weren't intact, we would have crossed and we could have lost our lives.
Right.
I could be spending time in jail right now. My brothers could be spending time in jail. Because we were some wild dudes. I mean, we were good kids. But if we didn't have that correction, I think the result wouldn't have been the same.
There go Lana's sister, Lena.
Lena said,
Big sis.
I am that parent. I talk and act sometimes, but yet both my husband and I talk. I'm the one that reacts. Okay. Lana said, whooping never hurt me. That's true though. I mean, a lot of people say whooping will destroy you, but I don't think so. Also, he said, haha, I was trying to figure out the best way to say 2 to 4 is a random age. Oh, okay. Well, I will say with James Dobson, when he refers to what age are best suited for corporal punishment, he refers to 9 being around that time when you want to start looking at taking away privileges versus maybe using some type of physical discipline, right? Let me read some comments here on IG. So Mikhail said, laugh out loud, yes, the switch up. Hated that. Mikhail said, it did get us together, whipping us, but man, it made me feel some kind of way sometimes. I feel you on that. Yeah, because, you know, you'll be in your room saying all kind of crap under your breath. You know, Mom, please don't whoop me now. Even at 35, don't whoop me.
I used to be like, oh man, yo, I used to do that. I used to be like, man, you can get on my nerves, man. Y'all get on my nerves.
Raquel said, like, yeah, I would be mad for like 2 weeks. And I feel like sometimes you feel away. And then you'd be like, man, I can't stand you. You be saying all kind of crap. And then it's like, they hear you from across the house. What you say?
I know. When you go upstairs, you better walk soft on them steps. You don't own nothing in here.
You better close my door softly. Oh man, we got a lot of laughs coming up. But it's true. Yeah.
Tell me a line in the comment section of what your parents would say. Cause my father used to be like, man, you better walk like you got some sense. You don't own nothing in here. You don't slam no doors up here.
Speaking of a funny comment, and I'm gonna go to the comments here. I remember one thing my parents used to say, and I never understood it. You'll say like, I want a Ninja Turtle. Like, oh, I'm a Ninja Turtle your head.
Yeah. You know, so I'm a Ninja Turtle your butt.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Why so serious?
Right. I want a red Lego. I'm a red Lego your butt. I'm a red Lego. You want to play?
Oh man. So Lana said, haha, your mom wanted to tell you no. She just didn't. My mom did that. Not saying she wasn't courageous, but the context. Lena said, sometimes it's great to talk. Other times it's a time to react. I feel you. Sometimes, you know, my kids know that lightning will come down if it needs to, but they're old enough. Push-ups, front lean rest position, wall sits.
Richard said, see, our folks a bunch of money and hardship.
Saved our folks a bunch of money and hardship.
Oh yeah, I look at whoopings like insurance.
Hey.
You know, I have a question for y'all, and let me know in the comment section. Do you guys think that whoopings are unique to the black experience versus other cultures? And we can even start talking about, is it unique maybe, because I know people who get whipped who are not American per se, but let me know what you think. And y'all know what I mean, because I feel like our culture is quicker to like yoke somebody up, whereas in other cultures, they're like, we have conversation.
Lana makes a good point here too as well. She said, reaction oftentimes are because you are frustrated with behavior. That's why I think you shouldn't always react. Good point. To reference James Dobson again, one thing that he always recommends to parents before corporal punishment or any punishment is you as the parent, you have to be the most mature person in the room, right? Mm-hmm. So you should first settle yourself before going to the child, whether it is you're going to pop them or spank them, or even if you're just going to have a conversation. But to keep you from overreacting, I think it's definitely smart that a parent gather yourself first, so that you could be the control one in the room because you're the parent. Also, Chris said, generally speaking, up until an age where the child's reasoning skills are adequate. I agree with that. Lana laughed. Nate said, I have the bigger balls. Richard.
Your dad said yes?
I remember that.
Your dad said I had the bigger balls.
Oh man, like if we ever like bucked up and act like we was gonna do something.
What?
Like, man, like yeah, he was
I had the bigger balls.
Yeah, I'm the man around here. Oh man. Honestly, my mom would say, stop crying, cut that crying out before I give you something to cry about.
Yes, my mom was the same thing too.
She said she's still confused. Yeah, I mean, like, I got whole lashes right now.
What she say now?
She said, nope, not unique. I know multiple cultures that do it. I feel like ours is more publicized and aggressive. That's true. I agree.
That's
Richard also said, yep. Richard said, true story. And then got an IG comment from Kenny. He said, you go to the room and start planning how you was going to run away or move out. Yeah, those responses, those whippings, they be traumatic.
Yo, I ran away once and it was cold outside. It was like snowing. And I went down to the street for like 10 minutes and I was like, I ain't think this through. I'm actually freezing for real. Should I go back? What should I do? Like,
yeah, and and Chris made a good point here. He said we need to take seriously the damage to brain development that corporal punishment causes. Yeah, because if you're overwhelming your kids or hitting them, or just, their reasoning, like, something that's been said by many professionals about corporal punishment is that you have to understand, a lot of them always recommend, now something Michael said earlier that her mom used a paddle, something that had been suggested many times by professionals is that you should use an object not connected to your body, because when your hand touches your child or your loved one, it should be from a place of love.
Interesting.
And when you use the paddle or like a little small ruler or whatever it is, that thing you do to tap them 3 times, it lets them know that this is a thing of discipline, but my mom is a place of love.
Oh, wow.
And then also, I think a big component that we don't always see in the black community, and I think you guys can agree, is, and I think a lot of parents that corporally discipline do this. I don't think it's just black. It's a lot of us just, I whooped you. They might have said a couple things while whooping you, but then to have that constructive conversation about why they're disappointed, or to understand, like, this is why this isn't so important that you don't do it. You can't throw a brick in the neighbor's window because it causes this. You don't want fear, and that brings up a point. Little Boosie, or Boosie. Is it Little Boosie or Boosie? I think it's Boosie. Boosie was on Vlad TV, and he was talking about whipping kids. And he was like, basically his parents would F them up, right? Trying to keep it PG as possible. And he's like, it's not that we just messing kids up for no reason. He's like, if you throw a brick through a window, he's like, spank the child. And he does make a good point. A point I always bring up is it has a place, because if you don't correct your child or make an effort, what happens is the police might shoot your child in the streets.
Wow.
And they can shoot them for nothing. And it's funny because a lot of times them same parents, I'm not going to say who they are, but we all know who they are. When you do discipline your child out in public, like, a quick pop or a sharp talking to, there's always that one nosy parent that want to say, oh, don't do that. Oh, just leave the baby alone. But that same woman, Becky that calls the cops at the park, and, Stacy that calls the cop at the apartment complex, they'll call the cops on your child and watch your child get killed. So it's kind of like, you do them if you do, you do them if you don't.
Yeah.
I think, we have to take care of our children, but some things could be extreme.
Right.
And like for the T.I. thing, maybe you can explain.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to read these comments real quick too, and then let's go to T.I. So Lena said, yeah, what would you do if your child was bullying another child, talking back, challenging you with everything? Would you talk or whoop? Sister, I'm whooping. Marvin, what's up, Dirk? LA and Louisiana in the building. He said, on ish, I'm in here. Congrats. I think I know what you're talking about. Simona just joined. Chris said, I think we African Americans are most reckless with our punishment.
Wow.
I agree. Richard said facts, he agreed. Marvin said whoop that ass. I mean, I feel you, brother. Lana, she said, please, Lord, not T.I. We want to go there.
We're going there. So if you guys don't know, an article came out where T.I. confirmed that he goes to the gynecologist appointments with his daughter and asks the doctors if she is still a virgin, because that's some information that he wants to know. He honors her chastity. He wants her to still be a virgin and to create a counterculture by which she honors being a virgin till marriage. Now the problem with it is the fact that his son D-Money admitted on national television on his show that he was having sex. At the time, I believe D-Money was maybe 15, 16. So it's like, so why is that there is this whole counterculture talk or counterculture type of action towards checking to see that your grown adult daughter at age 18 is still a virgin, but there was not the same talk to your not grown adult son, but your son who's having sex at a younger age. And so for me, it's like, I would not have a problem with his stance if it was consistent across the board. If he was saying, I want all of my kids to be virgins. Then in my mind, I'm like, okay, well that's something different and noble. I don't know if at the age of 18 and above, him asking about her body is necessary. That's kind of creepy. But I do feel like there is some sexism in that he feels a woman should be a virgin, and we place value on a woman's sexuality being pure and holy, and we don't do the same for men. This goes on in church. In church, we always talking about how a woman gotta be abstaining from sex. She gotta save herself for marriage. And then we got men who are out here popping it with Keisha at the nightclub. Then they get married to this Virgin Mary, and they're like, Pastor, I am not pleased sexually because I'm used to Keisha, giving me fellatio, and the Virgin Mary that I married can't do it like Keisha can. So we need to talk about this extreme, I don't even know what you want, this extreme narrative of sexuality among men and women. It's very archaic.
Well, and they keep archaic. Let's keep it on point with parenting. Let's talk about the difference from how we parent women or our daughters versus our sons.
When it comes to sexuality.
Yeah, yes. or no, in any area. It affects a lot of areas. Let me read some comments.
Well, okay.
Let me read some comments. Yeah, let's read some comments real quick. Chris McKinney said, it's not unique to the black community, but we African Americans are the most reckless, generally speaking. I feel you, brother. Marvin said, I don't condone bullying. I will beat the ish out of my child for it. Feel you. Marvin said, but she went overboard, referring to the mother on the viral videos. Yeah, Lana said, listen, the hymen intact doesn't mean you aren't sexually active. Responding to the T.I. comments.
T.I.'s crazy.
Yeah, he's wilding. Also, Chris McKinney said, how do you know T.I. didn't talk to his son?
Because on the show, Tiny was like, yo, your son is having sex. He like, with his little voice, I mean, using them big words. I apologize for.
Or as Richard just said, he's wrong expeditiously.
Right. He does talk like that. He was like, men have sex, and as long as he's protected, it'll be fine. I'm like, no, sir, that's not what you should be saying. But
Lana makes a good point too. Giving you guys a little biology lesson here. She said the hymen is a part of the muscle that can be expanded and doesn't often tear. Let me see. Kat, you're right for real, because I went through that. So I mean, some good points, and I want to hear y'all points on the difference between parenting our daughters and sons. A point I was going to make about that is because I seen situations where, like, for instance, especially like some of my Latino friends, right? There's like a babying, or sometimes Caribbean culture too. There could be a babying of their sons.
That's
right.
That's all cultures.
I wouldn't say that. I won't say all cultures.
I think it's all with a capital A, all cultures. You got grown men. You got grown men throwing their drawers on the floor with dirty boo-boo drawers. They don't know how to wash themselves with a washcloth. They don't know how to wash clothes. You got grown women who are cooking and cleaning and feeling like, well, my mom and my dad taught me that I have to be the end-all be-all for a husband, and all husbands gotta do is be faithful. No, you need to be present. We need men who are going to actually be fathers, not just having the woman do all the work to parent.
I feel you. Chris makes a good point on that. He says we do need to parent our sons and daughters differently. So I want to hear more. He said that, and his reason being is that they'll have a different experience in the world. Okay. Let's talk about that. Because there's I've heard that sentiment from other people. So let's talk about that. He said, Lana said, bruh, my children, men or women, I will not be sexually active until they can be mature. A 15-year-old child does not need to be engaging in sex.
I agree.
I feel you. Lana was laughing.
Not the boo-boo.
I mean, if you're not trained properly how to take care of yourself, you have those problems. And Lana said, listen, that is the truth at Kat. So, Kat, you made a lot of good points there. And for instance, I think something that I've seen, we've talked about this before offline, is that it's been my experience that a lot of my friends who didn't have sisters, where it was just all boys, I feel like they were a little bit more domesticated as far as their ability to cook for themselves, wash clothes and all that. Because I guess because there's no bias to put it all on the girls, right, or the sisters,
I can see that.
Then the parents is like, well, we just got to teach you these skills. Because I know, like, with my mother, shout out Denise, we all learned how to wash clothes. We all learned how to eat. I mean, how to, cook our own food. By 8 years old, if not earlier, we all had learned how to mow grass. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, there's a lot of different skills. Because she used to always tell us, like, look, you can't be starving because you're waiting for a woman to cook for you.
Hello.
Right?
Hello.
So,
that's foolish.
I mean, and I've been fortunate that in my adult years, I've never relied on a woman to cook for me. I've never relied on a woman to clean for me.
Shameless plug, y'all. Juan can really clean and Juan can really cook. Juan's cleaning is like top notch. Like,
thank you, Denise.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Juan can really cook. Like, truth be told, there are only select dishes that I can make well. But as far as we were to compare who's the better cook,
Hey, I appreciate it.
and Juan can decorate a house better than me. I ain't got no problem admitting it. I'm fine with that. I can make select dishes. I can make some mean curry chicken. Okay, go ahead.
Marvin said, I do parent my son and daughter different. Explain to us, like, what things do you do differently? Richard said, we learned it all. That's right. And yes, we're very thankful. Lana said, I hated taking out the trash. I always said I wanted a brother for that chore period. She said, now I think, oh, hold up. I want to see exactly all she said. She said, now I think differently about it.
I had a brother, and I don't remember Christopher ever being forced to take out the trash, but I can say that my parents' expectation of my brother and his grades was very different than my sister and I. I can also say from a maturity standpoint, my parents expected me to go out in the world by 18, pay bills, have a credit card. My brother didn't start really engaging in that until like probably within the past 2 years, and he's like late 20s. So I do think that the expectation is different. My mother definitely babies him. That's my son. That's my baby. With me, it's like, oh, you're grown. You're grown. So, yeah.
Poor Chris not here to defend himself. Michael from IG, she says, sounds like my husband. He can cook. Okay, so next time we in ATL,
okay,
can we get a plate? You know, like I will invite myself. So then Richard, my brother, he said thanks to Denise. Nate, why you hating, bro? He said I'm alright. Cool. Chris also made a point. He said in regards to skill sets, he feel each child should know them all. So, you know, at what point, for some of the fathers especially out here watching, so at what point are we raising our daughters different from sons? I'm curious to know. And then we have another comment from Michael on IG. She said, my mom didn't like people in the kitchen with her. She felt like you were in the way when you were in the kitchen.
I know that.
And that's true. And you know what? Michael, I'm happy you brought that up. So, because, you know, it's all in the line of parents. And sometimes it's like, and I see this a lot in our community. I'm pretty sure other communities suffer from it as well. There are some conversations we don't want to have with our kids. There's certain things we don't want to bring them in. I think I've seen the food thing, but I think even worse than that is money. Yes. There are so often where our parents, especially in our community, they don't want to talk about money. They may say basic things like, oh, save 10%, tithe, don't spend it all in one place. Yeah. But to really be intimate about, this is how much me and your mother makes, this is why we make this choice.
My parents to this day still won't tell me how much they make.
You know, I think those conversations are important because it gives, especially as kids grow,
insight.
You know, have insight of like, okay, my parents afforded this. Well, how much money did they make to afford that? How much was their mortgage? Because then you have people grow up comparing the lifestyle to their parents. But then if you don't know the intimate detail of what it takes your parents to get to that point, how can you compare?
Well, not only that, it also gives insight to when they say no and you understand what they make, then you're like, okay, well, that makes sense, as opposed to you thinking like they're just saying no to say no. You don't really know how much they make and like why you can't afford it.
So I think we could definitely do better, like as far like expressing ourselves that way. Lana said, I cook, but Chris has desserts on lock. All right, so we got couples to visit. I'm
a baker too. I like to bake.
Yeah, you do bake.
I can bake really well.
Cookies be on point. Chris McKinney said, in regards to how many sons and daughters will interact with the world, it'll be different. Women and men have different strengths and abilities. Okay. Lana said, age 13, I saw differences. Not parenting directly because I don't have brothers, but she said she started generally. I didn't see the rest of your statement, so I want to see it, but from this view, I can't see the whole thing. Chris said they'll need to know how to harness those strengths and abilities. Okay.
I was just going to say one quick thing. I don't really believe in gender roles, but there are certain roles that I expect a man to know how to do. And one of them being, I expect a man to know how to change a tire. I was reading a status by one of my friends recently, and she said that she went on a date and that she had a flat tire and that the guy did not know how to change a tire, and she literally got out, changed a tire, and he was just looking like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, wow. She said from that day on, she was like, I just can't rock with him because I can't respect the men that don't know how to get out and change a tire. And so I kind of feel like if there's a noise in the middle of the night, if my man is not getting up first to go see what it's at or be about I'm gonna protect you, he like, well, you go up and get it. Like, I just feel like there's certain roles that I feel like men should just have. You should have that doggy dog, that rah-rah about you that I prefer.
Yeah.
I like the rah-rah.
And then Richard makes a good point. He said he has 3 girls. And he's like he said 1, 9, 1, 5, and 1 in a 1-year-old. And he says, you know, he's teaching his 9 and 5-year-old now how to wash clothes, how to clean, how to do dishes, how to save money, and other things. And I think that's important. And me personally, and I'm not saying any of you guys are wrong. If you feel like you want to raise, because it goes back to my earlier statement.
Yeah.
Parents should be allowed to govern how they want to raise their children.
Yeah.
You know, what kind of adults do they want to bring into the world?
Yeah.
So let's leave that where that is. But I will say this, me personally, I want my kids pretty much understanding the same things. Like for instance, if I'm teaching them how to shoot a gun, everybody's going to learn how to shoot a gun, right? If I'm teaching them some quick, you know, first responder life-saving abilities, I want them both to learn it. If I'm teaching someone how to change a tire, I want them both to know, because I look at it like, I can't tell my daughter just to rely on a man, not because I don't want her being with a man that can change a tire, but I realize that if she is by herself,
I agree.
If she's traveling, she could be married, but the husband may not be right next to her.
Yeah, she should know how to do it.
I don't expect her to wait 2 hours to get home because she can't just do the thing herself. You get
I agree with that. It should be consistent throughout.
Kenny makes a good point off of IG. He said, but why not learn together? I feel you, brother. He said, learn to change the tire together. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all on that. And I think there is something that can be taken from that. Richard said, I want them not to have to rely on anybody because they are girls. I want them to be able
to be independent.
Yeah, and that's important, right? And also, Chris said, what's up with y'all extending the show by 10 to 15 minutes every week? You know, we can look into that. We could, like some shows do go over. We try to keep it to an hour, but that's a good point. We can look at.
We try to keep it to an hour. My thing is,
we try.
Let's try to garner a little more viewership, and I think that would be something that we could definitely do.
So you know what, shameless plug. So you know we're talking about expanding the show, and shout out to the McKinneys who are always here. Shout out to Richard. Shout out to everybody, all of our guests, True Scorpio, so many people that's always down, right? Lana said he's talking to him. That's funny. But no.
Why are you gonna call out your husband like that?
But no, something to bring out though, right? The nitty gritty show was founded on 3 things, right? Yep. 1, we wanted to educate people. Because we felt like a lot of people just didn't know like where to go in politics or how to find ways to be supportive and activate. Second thing is, we wanted to have the conversations that we're not seeing on MSNBC, that BET didn't always have. I know they have State of the Culture now, so they're getting better. Shout out to shows like The Breakfast Club, who have matured over the years. But still, there's a huge chasm to be filled as far as having these conversations that we have all the time at the dinner table. And the third thing is, we wanted to show that black people especially are not a monolith.
I was waiting for this one.
Yeah. We don't always agree on everything.
We don't think
that way. We don't have to conduct ourselves. I won't say the names because I don't want to, speak ill of any of my brothers and sisters out there in the news. But we've seen some shows where they argue, where they cut each other off in conversation, where they don't value the other opinion.
Right.
I think something I observed that was dope was at the Revolt conference, Killer Mike, still reminding them she's still our sister. Yeah. She may not think like she probably should. She may have a different opinion. But Candace Owens is still our sister, and we should at least respect that our sister is voicing an opinion. We don't have to like it, and we don't have to agree. Right. But it doesn't have to come down to name calling, disrespect, or not even allowing yourself to hear where the person is coming from. Because at least if you sit and listen, that gives you really the ammunition if they are stupid or off, to be able to correct them. Yeah. But if you're cutting them off before they get it out, how do you ever allow yourself to learn? So I think that's important. Yeah. Lana says, shout out to the Nitty Gritty platform. Kenny was saying, when you marry, that gives the opportunity for both people to grow. And I appreciate that, talking about building. So in that response, all that to be said with what Chris said about extending the show, we want all you guys, if you like what you're seeing, if you enjoy it, please share the episode. When we go live, you can actually share our live. So that people can join even though it may not show all those people showing on our feed, but then when we go back and look at the analytics, we see that 150 people viewed, or so many people viewed. And when we get that viewership, it's not so that me and Kat can be these big celebrities and look at us. It's really to help us put money towards the show, and it puts money towards the show because when we get viewership, when we go to local businesses in the area that might want to sponsor us, they want to know that we're touching so many people.
Yeah.
And they're going to base our value over how many people we touch.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart was able to make more money in the industry because he has such a presence on IG and Snapchat. They actually had to pay him extra money to talk about his movies and to actually go live on the sets, which helped garner more attention to things like Jumanji, Think Like a Man, and so forth. So there's really a business and a strategy to this thing, and we appreciate any help you guys can give us support. Michael said, I love it. Great show. There was one last little topic we're going to talk about before we do shout-outs. We're going to go 5 minutes on this one because we are about to run out of time. And there's things that we got to do after the show tonight. So, $40. Some of you may not be familiar. I asked this question yesterday. Some of the young ladies was like, I don't know. But there's this like $40 test. It was explained to me by my shout-out Stephen Powell, who's part of the Nitty Gritty Extended Family. He's on the show quite often. He actually did a photo shoot for the Nitty Gritty show yesterday. He said women asking for $40. And from what he explained to me is it's a test. He said if the man gives the $40 willingly, he may be a sucker, or she just may know I can get money from him. The second thing she said, if the man asks, well, what is the money for, he may be frugal or just responsible, but that means he still may give it to you if it's a good reason. Mm-hmm. And I think I would fall in that line. Like, I'm just not going to give you $40. Why do you need $40? Don't you get a job? You know what I'm saying? You ask me for $40? And why 40? Like, what's so magical about $2? Like, what is $20 doing besides maybe filling a tank, buying you some Chipotle, and I don't know, with the little money you have left over, what are you doing with it? I'm curious. Let me know. And then they said the third response, if he says no, maybe he's broke or he's too cheap that he wouldn't give you $40. So somebody please let me know. Lana said, I mean, it's really sharing these kind of secrets. She's giving a sour face at Steven. All right, so I'm happy that he put brothers on game. All right. I've called out brothers plenty of time on here about, stuff that we do, like the men trips to like Costa Rica and Brazil. If you're married and your man is taking a guy trip to Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic, Slim, there is a 99.9% chance he cheated on you. I'm just putting that out there. If you're going to take trips out the country, why not go together? Why not the ladies get together, maybe do their thing for a few hours, the fellas do? Hopefully that's not enough time to cheat.
Listen, Juan loves anything couples, like he loves couples trips.
Couples trips are dope.
He loves couples dates.
You know what? We should do Nitty Gritty show, couple shows.
Juan loves anything with the word couple in it.
I think
he loves
dope.
Marriage ministry. He loves anything couple related. So if you are a couple, come to the Nitty Gritty show, slide in the DM and say, hey, I'm looking for a couple friend. Juan will more than likely create some kind of avenue to become a couple friend with you.
So Lana responded to this. We're getting all kind of laughing. Richard zipping his lips. I guess that's my little comment about the guy shits. My bad, bro. It's the truth. So anyways, Lana said $40 is about the ability to give and selfishly and sacrifice. That's interesting. I mean, I see the test.
Girl.
So brothers, let me put you guys on the test. If you want to know if a girl is selfish, I got this from a movie. I think most of you going to know what movie I'm talking about. A Bronx Tale. And I think it does work. If you get in the car, right, you only open up your door, right? So what you do is you open up her door. You open the door for her, you let her get in. You purposely only open up that door. You keep the other door locked. And then when you get into your car, if she see you out there jiggling the keys, struggling to get in,
I don't think
she's
we
selfish.
should be talking about anything related to a daggone movie for no advice. Like,
Hey, but that was solid advice.
No, that's a movie. That's not real life.
Hey, I think that's real life.
So
there's something to that. And then Lana said it's more than 20, which everyone has. So that's why they choose 40. Richard said, oh, I'm good. I'm single. I need to make that trip. Oh, okay. Lord. Hey, wrap it up. They got new A's out there. So, and then anyways, we got some shout outs. We got 5 minutes left.
Okay.
So we got some really dope shout outs. I want to shout out happy birthday to my homegirl Simone. She just had her birthday. Then Austin P. There was homecoming. I saw all the beautiful pics. People I ain't seen in a long time. Y'all look really good out there. That was dope. Got some comments. Simone said that's real. So see, she said that's real, even though it came from a movie. Chris said it tells you something about the person. Thank you. Richard said the movie taught me well. Simone said open the door. Thank you, Facebook.
It's a movie.
Thank you. Kenny said my girl has done that for me. She opened the door for me. So you got yourself a winner. Shout that out. thank you guys. I love our audience. They're amazing. I'm just saying, they're amazing. So Austin P just had their homecoming. Shout out to that. I believe you guys won your game. Football team is doing really well. Y'all sucked the whole time I was in school, but okay, whatever. No, that's it. Special shout out to no veterans once again. Tomorrow's Veterans Day. If you know a veteran, shoot them some love. There's a lot of veterans that come home broken in need of help, love, and support. Yep. So if you know a veteran, show your appreciation to them. Let them know that you care about them. Also, one other big announcement. So I'm serious. Like anybody who watched the show, I think all y'all know already. But did anybody notice anything different about Katrina today?
What did you guys notice?
Anything different? You know,
inquiring minds want
any
to
new
know.
jewelry? You know what I'm saying? Did y'all notice anything different about Katrina today? I was just curious. Well, if y'all didn't know, Wanda Costa and Katrina Hawkins got engaged yesterday.
Woo!
If you do not know who Wanda Costa is, it is me, Jason Costa. If you do not know who Katrina Hawkins is, because you call her Katniss. Katniss, alright, yes. We are a couple.
I know. We've been doing this show for such a long time. People are like, are y'all together or not together? And we are together.
We are together.
We've been together.
Yeah, you just put our business out there, everybody.
But yes, y'all, he put a ring on it.
Yeah. Let us sparkle. Yeah.
He did it good.
We got all kind of comments glowing, yes, a lot of support. I appreciate y'all. We love y'all so much.
We do.
And we love each other. Yes. I'm acting like Pastor Paul right now. Oh man, I promise you almost. Paul, where are you at? This is a time like this. I needed you, Paul. I know you're gonna watch this later.
What creative song you got about rings for tonight?
You know what? I didn't really have a song about rings. I just know that we have been vibing this week to Musiq Soulchild. I mean, you know, I was going to be like, you know.
Okay, Musiq Soulchild. I like Musiq Soulchild. The album is dope.
Yeah, the music is. I mean, I figure you want to hear some Musiq Soulchild.
I do like music. Everybody's saying congrats.
Thank you for the congrats.
Y'all good people.
I appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you. Look at all the things. Thank you, guys.
Oh, yeah. This is love.
We are super excited. The proposal was great. I told my friends how it went down. We don't have enough time today to talk about how it went down, so maybe next time I'll tell you guys the story.
Yeah, we'll tell you guys a story. Maybe we'll do like a short video this week where we'll let Kat, we'll post it to IG and Facebook.
We can do a montage with the photos.
Yeah. The photos should be out before Thanksgiving, but yeah, we'll let Kat tell the story to the whole world. Maybe your phone won't be blowing up so much.
Yes. Anyway. Is that Kenny? Oh, he said yes. Congrats. Hey, Stacy. Congratulations to you too. Juan, what advice can you give another brother looking to get engaged?
Oh, I got the best advice. Before we got 2 minutes left.
That's your brother.
I gotta take care of my brother. All right, so look, I got the best advice. First of all, right, the 4 C's.
Okay.
You gotta know the carat, so that's how big the diamond is, right? And honestly, you guys want to be between, ideally, if you don't have the money to do that, then I mean, don't do it. But ideally, you want to be between 1 carat and 2 carats. Because anything more than 2 carats, guys, I'm going to be honest with you, that's too big. That's for a woman who's been married for 20, 30 plus years. She's not working hard anymore. And she doesn't have to worry about messing up that diamond through the hustle and bustle of life if she's still working or actively taking care of kids, right? Second thing you need to know, 4 C's. You need to know about the clarity of the diamond, right? They have everything from SI all the way up to
and that's what
flawless.
Did y'all see how it's shining right there? That's what I really loved. I was like, I'm going to be like, oh. So, and get me wrong, you don't really need something high up. You don't need something really high up on the scale. Literally, if you get like a VVS2 or VS2 diamond or better, it's going to sparkle, it's going to look clear, it's going to look good next to platinum or some type of white gold, if you decide to go that route. Yeah. Next big thing is going to be cut. You want an ideal cut. That cut is why it sparkles, okay? So you want ideal cut or better. When you get a lesser cut, it's not going to have that ideal sparkle. You want that thing to sparkle even in the dark, all right? And then the last thing is color. Color is not as important as the others because it depends on what you want. I would typically say anything better than I is what you want. If it's lower than I in color, it may start to look yellow, and that could be mistaken for being cloudy. Lana said, wave the hand, girl. Wave the hand, girl.
And I say my last bit of advice.
Okay.
Do not go to Kay. Do not go to Jared. Build your ring online. You will save so much. Two websites.
Don't finance it either.
And don't finance it. You should not finance a ring. If you have to finance the ring, that means you need to tell her back. And if your woman is not accepting of what you can afford, well, that's good to know because she might not be the one. All right, but I will say 2 websites. Shameless plug. I wish I was getting paid for this. Brilliant Earth.
Boom.
And then also Blue Now.
Boom. Boom.
You can build your own ring. You can choose the type of diamond, the cut, all of that, and you can play with the different stats and some of the sizes and all that to get the best ring possible for your bang or buck. All right.
And another thing I want to say to y'all, I didn't even pick out my ring.
You gotta pay attention.
I didn't even pick out my ring.
Oh, IG, we're about to sign off. Look. It's Jada Costa, Katrina.
It's your girl Katniss.
We out. I know y'all about to be signing out soon. But thank you guys for joining.
Yeah. I didn't pick up.
I think this is one of the reasons why we stay to an hour too, because we can only go live on IG for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's part of the reason. All right. Yeah. So, but that's some helpful advice. So if you're looking for a ring, yeah. And but pay attention. As she was saying, I'm sorry I cut you off. If you listen to what your woman likes, if you kind of pay attention, you'll know automatically what to give her. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There's little things you can ask and get that information.
Guys, I'm still smiling. I think you did really, really good, and I just think it's funny that we waited for this episode to say, like, shameless plug, we're together. People were on my post like, yo, when did you even get in a relationship? I'm like, I've been in a relationship for basically 3 years now, sis.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I've been with the same guy for about 3 years now.
It was kind of obvious.
It's kind of like late
still
to the party, but that's okay. Okay, go ahead.
Well, we're kind of running out of time.
Yep, all right.
But look, before we leave, I have the song. This is Musiq Soulchild, Feel the Real album. The song is Sooner or Later. We've been rocking to this all week, so I just want to tell you the song. But anyways, look, it's your boy Jada Costa.
It is your girl Katniss.
Together we are the Nitty Gritty. Oh yes, please go to free. Make sure I say the website right.
She said, "This is nosy, but that's okay. Thank them for the support."
Facts. Also, make sure you go to freeronniereed.org. Save a brother. Chris said, "Yeah, you sit too close together not to be together." Facts. Look, we thank you guys so much. Thanks for all the congratulations and the well wishes. We will see you next Sunday. We out, Brian. We out.
Bye, y'all.
You too. We out. Thank you.